Alrighty then, I think we are live. We're going on with this right now. And for those who don't know me, I am in the game in World of Warcraft known as Mortalvamp or some other names by my different ones. But yeah, we're going to be talking about some stuff that's going on here with Blizzard and pretty much my ideas or my thought of a class that we should have played. But first, let me give that wonderful introduction of who I am once again, and here we go. Now, I will be adding music to this eventually and learning more about what it is that we're going to be doing with all that. But for now, you know, hey, what can I say? We're talking about the things that are coming up, and obviously one of the things coming up right now is BFA, you know, the Battle for Azeroth, and everyone who's wanting to get in on it and, you know, play all the different playable classes, you know, from the new classes that are on each side. And, you know, there's a debate about whether people are going to be playing with the foxes and playing with all these different possible classes. I thought about one class that's not actually in there that would be pretty cool to have. And, well, let me start by how it started. You know, I mean, everybody should know that at one point Blizzard had the wonderful Panda as a April Fool's joke. Well, it eventually became an expansion, and everybody went nuts over it. They loved seeing the pandas, and some people actually say that's their favorite, but I mean, I don't know. Everybody has their own different viewpoints. But you think about something here. There is one particular class that these guys have not had the opportunity to be, and I think it would be the perfect class for them. And the greatest part is see, pandas are both Alliance and Horde, so this could cross over. So what if I suggested that we could have something like Panda Druids? Oh yes, I'm really thinking that. Because let's talk about it. You mean you got the bear mode that would be really cool to have, you know, but instead of going into an actual bear, they're a panda. You know, get down all fours panda type thing. Now, not like the Worgen when they do their run mode, it just kind of looks wonky and stuff. I mean an actual panda, and Blizzard could do this. They could make it happen. It's just little tweaks that they have to do. And you might say, well, how could they do it? Okay, well, think about some of the things that we actually know are in the game right as we speak. Which are things such as, and I'm going to do this over the other panda, so you kind of see, let me slide it over to the side a little bit for you. But you can kind of see how they had the baby pandas, you know, as a pet. So you can kind of grow that in an extent to this other one and say, oh, who's better? You know, I mean, is which kind of panda would look ideal for the actual tank mode. To be honest with you, I think I would go with the first one that's up there versus, you know, the other one. Mind you also that Blizzard's about to release a high-def version of all their characters and all their little tunes and the, you know, the pets and so forth. So that little panda is going to get an upgrade and he's going to look way better. But the point is they possibly could do it. Well, we get into the next area that if you got obviously the bear tank, well, everybody would like to be DPS, so what could they be? Well, what would cat mode look like? I think something like this would work because, well, I mean, it was seen a lot in Panda Land, and, you know, a lot of people jump on that and say, oh gosh, yes, that would work, but, and I don't know, you know, I would, I'd have to say maybe, maybe not, because there's other cat forms that we've been introduced to over the time that I would totally say would rock, including one from more recent in Legion, which would be this bad boy. Now, who wouldn't want to play that as a cat form? I mean, think about it. you don't look like that normal cat anymore, like the you know, horde side, a lion with horns, or you know, they got a really nice looking panther on the sorry, the horde side with the horns, and the alliance side without. But I mean, you think about how the alliance side's cat looks pretty awesome, but imagine having this crossover between the two, and then everybody would be kind of happy. There is another cat form that we could talk about that is also in the Legion, and that would be this bad boy. But I don't know if I would go with that. I mean, personally, I think I like the this other cat form way better than anything else because, well, number one, we have him, and he looks pretty awesome, and I don't think anyone would go against it. There was another one that I would want to throw in there that, you know, I don't know what you guys would think, but you know, the pandas can get their different colors. If we went with a bear tank, we could kind of choose, now not necessarily in the cute mode, we can kind of beef them up, really make them look good, but the red pandas could have something like this look to them as well. Okay, so you're saying, well, you've got your cat mode, you got your bear mode. There's obviously another mode that I think should be introduced in there as well. So I actually have thought this out, okay? So bear with me on it. I've gone through some different little ideas, and I think if you really kind of look at it, the possibilities are there, and I wonder if Blizzard has somewhere down the line introduced that. Which is this as their flight form. Now, obviously, shrink him down a little bit and make him like the current Druid flight form, where they actually can be a two-seater mount. Well, you know, the person flying, and then you know, another person in the party can mount them and, you know, be flown around. It would be pretty cool. Which leads me into the final form. Well, I haven't thought about a healing side, just other than just a, you know, the common panda look yet. Some say, well, what about tree and so forth? I mean, there's so much we could go with. I mean, I don't think they'd look good running around as a bamboo stick. So we have to come up with some other thought for that. So I'm waiting to see if you guys might have some ideas on that. However, what about the one form that everybody loves the most? Well, that would be the boomkin form, right? Now, you can choose to be that wonderful, what do you call it, fat bird, if that's what you want to call him, and say, yay, that's what I want. But I don't like that. I think that fat bird's got to change. And by doing so, I suggest this form for the boomkin. Now, think about it. You don't have to be the fat bird running around. You can be this bad boy and doing all the same effects, but it would, I mean, two forms right now off the bat that I would totally play Druid constantly just because of the form, and that would be, you know, the Druid's cat form that I suggested, or this guy as the boomkin. And I mean, just imagine running around as that instead of a big fat bird. I promise you people would want to play just because of that form. I mean, it really makes you want to do that. So, you know, we've got the pandas. They've done their thing, you know, and a lot of people still say, well, they're hanging around and they're doing whatever. They're, you know, they're both factions. And with the battle for Azeroth coming out, I mean, we still have them in a conflict because technically some aren't allowed to talk to each other anymore and so forth. So it kind of puts a rift between the pandas in the first place, because some that, you know, depending on which side they choose. So, you know, here's the opportunity to kind of beef them up and make them want to be played a little bit more as well. So I do have this one question. What would you guys like to see as another possible playable class in you know, World of Warcraft? I mean, I asked that and I kind of stutter on it for a moment because I want to say certain ones from, you know, potential demons maybe, because we know that we've seen some of those, especially now that Legion's ending. There's some in there that would totally make sense of being in the game, as well as I remember somebody talking to me recently about this, and I thought that would be kind of cool would be like having the Gnome Goblins, or you know, both of them kind of being a tinkering class that they're kind of more buffed up as well. So you can kind of get an idea of where that could go up, to, you know, to higher points and higher forms, which I think would be really cool. So, you know, comment down below and tell me what you think would be an awesome class to be played, you know, in World of Warcraft and so forth, because I'm curious which one would be the way to go, and would you prefer it Horde or would you prefer it Alliance? Because everybody has their own choice, and you know, I'm curious where you'd want to go with that. Do you like hearing about World of Warcraft and other games? Well, if you do, let me know in the comments below, because I really like to hear this. What if you could actually get a weekly radio show where you can go and hear and get different guests on there and talk about the games, and maybe even you, the listeners, get a chance to suggest what games would be worth playing, or, you know, hearing about, or, you know, especially stuff that's coming up, because, I mean, there's so many different platforms. Let me know in the you know, comments down below, because that would be a pretty awesome way to get you know, get some feedback. Well, I mean, we all depend, any of the people who stream depend on your feedback as well, because then they can make what's going on happen. So don't forget, please, while I'm doing this, I'm going to try to get more videos out, and maybe even start streaming some of the raids and stuff. But you can subscribe to me, and, you know, get some new information coming out, give me ideas of what's going on, but make sure you hit that subscription button, because it would be really awesome if we could get a lot of you guys telling me how good it was, or what you think we could do, or I could do different, and so forth. So, but most of all, have a good day, and this is definitely Mortalvamp signing out, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.